Impact 1-0.
And I am so happy that we were muted during that time, because coming into game 2 of this best of 5 series on Simulacrum LE, we're finally not covering a ZvP today. We're going into something very, very different, a bit of a TVZ with, I would say, a bit of a wild card match, a bit of a match where anything could happen. One of our players here definitely was a wild card. The other player, I think, not so much, but still definitely someone who can be beaten, but also can annihilate. Do you want to take him?
Yeah. Here we have him up 1-0 in this series. He is representing Korea as well as all of the ex-Axiom players. You know, we know him, we love him. It is Impact.
Team is on currently, right?
Team LP.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let you in on a little bit of secret light. I was gonna take Impact for myself, but until I saw the clan tag of this player right here,
I was hoping that you'd go for him.
In the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Simulacrum, boyo. Do what you want, because a pirate is free. We have the Blue Terran, representing the Republic of Korea. He is, as well as Triumphant Song Gaming, TSG. And thankfully, we are in the same lobby as Crank, so we may or may not get a bit of this translation going down. I think that might just be an Oli Moly thing. But he is also on the other side of the map, so I'll have to rush this up. Bit of a wild card, but now in the qualifier match, we have DynaMite and Crank, and we are very fortunate here. Crank is translating. DynaMite saying, "I know you're doing pool first. How do you know?"
Yeah. And we did see that this proxy was scouted immediately by the first Overlord. So Impact already pulling drones, but it's too late. The barracks are done, and these drones aren't going to be able to do too much here.
Yeah, I mean, it's too late to deal with the barracks here, right? But the hatch is down. Creep is starting to spread quite a bit. It's not too late to end this push, though, if you're Impact.
Yeah, and he's going to be focusing down these workers to try and stop the bunkers from coming up, because as soon as the bunker finishes, it may be the end of this natural, and alongside that, the game, and this is looking pretty bad for Impact, man.
Yeah, as time is starting, and as time goes on and on and on, as DynaMite continues to kite these workers, these Zerglings, it does look very likely that this bunker will finish, but there's a very good surround. But the kiting is really good from DynaMite. I think Impact might be able to clear this up, but he will lose a lot. Very nice start stepping coming down from DynaMite. But the bunker is gonna go down.
Yeah, he focused down the worker, so the bunker is not gonna finish up.
Does actually cancel that. Does actually get an, I almost said, Immortal Overlord as well, so that should supply block Impact for a little bit. But I don't see DynaMite continuing this.
Like, losing that Overlord was huge. Because now he's supply blocked, and now he's forced to make one, and until then he can't make any more units.
Ooh, that it is. And DynaMite, he's continuing to pull his Marines. He wants to poke in, get more and more damage. He knows that this is negligible. He's building up behind us. He's already gotten his factory, and now he's got a
because of that supply block, like, these Marines could end the game potentially. Like, he kills the Queen. There it is.
Boom. He knew his opponent was going pool first.
I mean,
so he decided to take matters into his own hands.
I mean, yeah, that just wasn't like handled too well by Impact. I don't know if Impact was like overly confident. I don't know how familiar these two players are with each other, and if they were like kind of joking around a little bit. But yeah.
I think Impact was expecting a ZvZ.
Impact pulling a couple of drones, and it was too late anyway, so they didn't really do anything. And he was forced to he basically pulled everything, which meant that he wasn't mining for like very well at all. And yeah, like losing that Overlord just meant that, you know, the Marines, they just kind of went in uncontested.
Yeah. And I think we are starting to see a lot of other series wrap up because this lobby's getting a little crowded.
Yeah, we have Chicken Man joining us as an addition to the English casters.
That's about it, though. Now, what was he covering behind this? If I take a quick look in the bracket, I believe he was covering Special versus Rail, as that has just completed Special, beating out Rail 3-0 to go on to the qualifiers, or rather, qualify for the closed qualifiers.
Oh.
So
Very
yeah,
nice
we will
indeed.
get at least 3 non-Koreans tomorrow.
For sure. And here we have him in the top right-hand corner. You know, losing that last game, not handling that proxy as well as he could have. He is representing South Korea, Zerg players, and Team LP. It is Impact.
I still need him in his, like... I think somebody did Photoshop an image of him, but I'll get to that later on, where he's got, like, a fur coat and chains and whatnot. But, speaking of not Impact, in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, playing it very, very, very explosively that last game, I should say. Little bit of a wild card in this qualifiers. Can he go all the way in this match to qualify for the closed bracket? We have the Blue Terran representing the Republic of Korea, as well as Triumphant Song Gaming, TSG. We have DynaMite.
So
okay, I see how it
sounds. It sounds like you were talking about the Pimpact Photoshop.
Yeah, the Pimpact Photoshop.
Pimpact. It only has like the story behind that was that he went to a GSL like match, with like this like massive fur coat.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, I remember that.
Yeah, that fur coat was legit, and it was like,
damn.
Yeah.
And then Ryong just came in and I was like, I'm going to put this on MS Paint and give him some gold chains.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Ryong or Ollie that actually did the Photoshop.
No, it was probably Ollie. If it was Ryong, it would have been MS Paint.
It would have been drawn on. Everything would have been drawn on if it was Ryong. But it's kind of rough. Like, thinking back on that, like that was a long time ago now. That was like 5 years ago. Like,
feeling
or 6
a
years.
little bit elderly now. Oh yeah, 2014 was 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's a new decade. I'm freaking out again.
Yeah. Time does go by.
He does go by. He goes to Korea.
He does.
But, yep, we're looking to play a lot more standard this time. DynaMite will. I think there have been a lot of grievances by Terran players about Zen lately, about Zen, particularly with tank positioning. So I think we've actually seen quite a couple of players, Terran players in particular, just say, heck it, I'm going to play Battle Mech. I'm going to play Mines. Because tanks are not very popular on this map.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it a little bit off stream, but we were watching game one between these two players, and DynaMite did go for like a battle mech sort of style, 1-1-1 style. Yeah. So we may see that again. We do have a 1-1-1 coming out of DynaMite, and so it does look like we will be seeing.
Ooh.
Yeah. Look, we're getting a tech lab with the Stargate.
Yeah. Speaking of scouting, DynaMite did scout Impact, and he saw the Roach Warren, but then later on got cancelled.
Yeah. They may be talking about that right now. I don't know.
Well, we'll wait for Crank to input a translation. Going for Cloaked Banshees this time, DynaMite does, which he might have done earlier in game one, but from what I've seen, he was going for BCs.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can potentially transition out of this into BCs, but it's not, you know, typically we don't really see that. We see like a commitment to one or the other.
Your strategy was already ruined. I know, right?
I imagine that was him scouting.
Mine
the
is
virtual end.
ruined. No. You know exactly.
Like, this is a good opportunity for Crank to continue to practice his English. It's great.
Tis very much so. So
Yeah, we do have the Hellions popping out, but we do have Queens. We do have Roaches on the way as well. So Impact should be fine. In saying that, we do have Stim on the way. So this will be a transition into Bio following up from this.
I mean, it's gotta be. Why would you get Stim if it's not gonna be Bio, right?
Exactly. And we do have Impact throwing down Spores, so he should be okay. He already has that Overseer as well. But we'll see how much damage.
For now, a lot of this, this one Banshee just slowly two-shotting and manages to get 6 drones. That is arguably more than Impact can really afford at this point.
Yeah, we keep seeing this from Impact, where, you know, at that natural where he lost 6 drones, he didn't have a Spore. Like, you know, he keeps like being a little bit greedy. Yeah, but like it's so far from what we've seen, it doesn't work out. You know, damage still manages to get done, unfortunately. But
and Impact has gone from a slight economic lead to an economic disadvantage.
Yes, deficits, if you will.
Yeah, that's the word, just like that.
Yeah, but hey, look what we have on the way from Impact.
That is what I like to see from Desert players at this point when they have this many bases.
Mm-hmm. Exactly 2+1 bases.
Yeah. You don't count over 2. You don't count more than 2.
So is the bench actually going to get the Queen? Oh my god.
Yes, it will.
Wow.
I just saw a Queen do a 1,000-yard scare.
Yeah, unfortunately, Impact, he doesn't have Overlord speed, so it does take a while for that Overseer to fly from one point to the other. Yeah, and, you know, we'll see if Impact, you know, in ZvP earlier today, we saw him go for Corruptors. We may see that. We may see
Mutas, just based on what his opponent was doing. I feel like in ZvT, though, compared to ZvP, it's a little bit harder to force your opponent to play, at least when you go for a Spire, right? It's a little bit harder to force your opponent to play in a style that you want to. Like, when it goes later on in the game, you can force your opponent to go, like, say, very Marine heavy, and that's why you switch it up into Ultralisks. And then while you have the Ultralisk, that's when you switch it to Corrupted Brute Lord, but at this stage of the game, definitely, it's hard to force your opponent to play the style that you want them to play if you're the Zerg player.
For sure, and it looks like these two players are going to hit each other at the same time. Impact trying to go in with his Mutas, that's DynaMite going into the main with his drop. And
the Mutas do manage to get quite a bit. These are Hellions. These are Hellions. They're mines, but they are Hellions.
Yeah, they trade blow for blow around equal amount. These Mutas are getting a little bit more damage done.
They are getting a little bit more damage done. We're able to snipe out a couple of mules as well. So this is actually pretty huge damage from Impact.
Yeah. And he keeps getting more. 11 workers. Yeah.
And this
nice.
It's pretty rough to say the least. DynaMite is still in it, that's for sure. It's not crippling damage. And he's continuing to go in with his Hellions.
Well, like, it's important to note that Impact had to do something like this because, you know, he did lose 6 workers earlier to the Banshee, and he lost another 5 from these Hellions as well. So they are kind of trading blows at the moment. You know,
starting to move out now.
Yeah.
Impact will. And we have seen that, as we were talking about a little bit earlier, tanks are a little bit rough on this map, but DynaMite has gone for a couple.
Yeah, we saw him get a couple of Widow Mines as well, so he will have a nice, diverse army.
I think that's really what you want versus Mutalisk and Mutiling Bane.
For sure. Yeah.
Nice run out with these Marines, making sure that not only are they hard to hit, but they also maximize damage, right?
Well, like he has to make sure he protects those tanks because if the mutas go in and kill the tanks, then it's going to be over for that push.
Well,
but
forget protecting the tanks. He can't protect his third base.
Yeah, yeah. Not even the mutas, the lings, they're just ravaging that third base mineral line. Meanwhile, DynaMite, he's pushing in, and he has to be careful.
But he will have to be very careful of banelings, yeah.
Yeah.
That and the banelings, okay, he does match it kite very, very well, but he's just losing so many workers here.
And yeah, he left his tanks exposed.
He exposes his tanks. No. DynaMite, please. He does actually clear this out though, but he is so far behind. He's almost all in at this point.
I mean, if he had killed that fourth, then maybe it would have been okay. Like, it's got so low health.
Well, I don't know. I still want to believe that DynaMite is okay because he has a much better army right now.
Yeah,
but
and he's still
will very much depend on his micro.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And he's still continuing to push. He could get this base. Go.
Yeah, he could. He's being very cautious.
Tickle it.
All right,
nice.
The base, and he backs off. Tries to. Yep, manages to snipe a number of banelings as well while he's at it. And actually fighting this off creep, he is bleeding out impact decently well. Considering how much he lost. But again, he also lost so much.
Yeah, bear in mind, DynaMite's army is still very strong. And he is replenishing his third base. He's getting a fourth base at the same time. So DynaMite, he isn't slowing down. Impact has to be careful not to be too overconfident. Oh, this Widowmine shot.
Neither of them really can. Widowmine does not actually pop off in time, but very nice splits from Mr. Impact, and he does not impact DynaMite, and he does keep a lot of his mines and a lot of his bio alive.
Yeah, and the mine actually, it killed like all the Banes, so the Banes didn't get to hit the Marines, and now there's just mutas here, and mutas are not what you want against this.
Out. That will help zone, if nothing else, at least zone out the mutas. I think DynaMite has got this. If he lapses in concentration once, his army will be gone, and that's the end of the game. But if he doesn't, he's got this, man. DynaMite has got this.
Yeah, right now, the biggest thing is that Thor. That Thor is pushing away those mutas so much, and it's hard for Impact to push into this.
Vials. And actually, the medevacs are out of energy, so he cannot continue to keep stimming.
Yeah,
but
well, the mutas are dead though.
Regardless. That DynaMite. Skadoosh. Blowing up this bracket. Blowing it up like Widow Mines. Skadoosh. Who?
Yeah, I feel like Impact did really well with that counterattack and pulling DynaMite's army apart when he attacked the third and when he was able to snipe off a couple of tanks. But I feel like he should have given up on that fourth. When that fourth was on solo health, like DynaMite didn't even have to commit that much to push in. And after he pushed in, Impact felt like pressured to like continue pushing, and he lost like all his Banes, like trading inefficiently trading into tanks. Like it just wasn't a good engagement. It was off creep as well, right? Like,
do you think if Impact just backed off after killing the mineral line and went to flank what's his name, DynaMite's army?
Maybe. Part of me feels like he should have
abandoned that.
War.
Right, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of things that Impact could have done, but I almost feel like Impact went for a sort of Goldilocks sort of decision where it was the worst of every world in a sense. Because he could have abandoned his fourth and committed to the fight, or he could have went for a base trade, but I feel like he tried to get damage done on the other side of the map whilst keeping his fourth, and
yeah. Especially because
it didn't work out too well.
Yeah, the reason why I say like he should have like given up his fourth is because DynaMite's macro didn't stop. Like there was a lot of reinforcements at his third that was coming up.
That cannot be understated. That cannot be understated. DynaMite was producing units endlessly, or understated, or overstated, or either or. I guess suppose
it's stated.
It can only be stated.
Exactly. And here we have him. Surprisingly, I would say down 2-1 in this series. His tournament life is on the line, representing South Korea, as well as Zerg players and Team LP. It is Impact.
And in the top left-hand corner of the map, spawning in the top left-hand corner of the Ephemeron LE, or Ephemion, if you are, what's his name? We have the Blue Terran representing Team Triumphant Song Gaming, TSG, as well as the Republic of Korea. He is the wild card when it comes to this bracket, and he is already on match point versus his opponent. Can everybody give it up for DynaMite?
Hey, man, he's about to blow up.
He's about to blow up. And speaking of which, I can just hear the crowd explosively cheering for him.
Hey,
But I think you were talking about it a little bit about Impact being the favorite. And I would say, I think for a while people have been sleeping on our boy Impact, and now that he's finally actually favored, he is now gonna have to fight for his tournament life. He's gonna have to win this map and then win a map after this.
Yeah, I feel like the story of Impact is quite interesting. Like, I feel like he kind of peaked earlier on in his career. You know, he did come second in that DreamHack when he was on Axiom.
And that's still his highest achievement.
Yeah. Since then, you know, we've seen him do like decent runs in GSL and SSL, and take games off of really strong players. But you know, he hasn't been very, like, I don't know, like, he's kind of just been a mid-tier player for the longest time.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is a shame. I'd always love to see him kind of break out and get into like that top 4 GSL or something, but we just haven't really seen that.
I'm with you there, because he has the potential to do so. He's been going back and forth with a lot of these very high-level Korean players, whether it's Maru, whether it's Zest, but he's not quite able to make it all the way, essentially.
Yeah, he has like these like sporadic moments, but he doesn't have like that consistency. And he's kind of been stuck in this place for a couple of years now, which is quite a shame.
I think he's gotten better though.
He has gotten better. He has consistently become that like kind of like round of 16 GSL player to the point where everyone kind of knows who he is now.
Absolutely.
You know? Which is really cool to see, like that at least. In saying that though, we have DynaMite, who has been around for a very long time as well. Yeah,
and he hasn't really peaked the way that Impact has, but now could be his time.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like, this could be his breakout performance, where he's like below Impact. He's kind of DynaMite's been more of like a low tier, kind of ladder hero Korean player, where like he plays in like the qualifiers for GSL, but like doesn't quite make it in, or you know, like he'd be like a B teamer in Pro League, a practice partner, and now he's finally, you know, he's on a Chinese team. I'm sure they pay well, which is surprising as well.
It's not Parting's team, sorry, Solar's team, so I'm sure they pay pretty well.
Yeah, so it's cool to see, like, first off, China pick him up, right? And second off, like, he's coming out strong, you know, and he's playing really well.
Yeah.
This could be it.
I have just decided to look into his portfolio. His highest placement was in the Alpha X MVP Cup, which is a minor tournament.
Yeah, I think that's like I want to say weekly, a monthly maybe?
Monthly.
There you go. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he does. Like this is, you know, this could be his moment to explode everywhere on everyone and everything.
Well, that will absolutely be a sight to see if it does happen. Impact's build, it looks very aggressive. As a Terran player, I'll defer it to Mr. Zerg expert.
Yeah, he is kind of being a little bit greedy, getting 2 upgrades at once. You know, typically you only see 1 Evo chamber. As well as, you know, committing to just pure Ling to save off this 1-1-1.
And this would be for a Ling flood, wouldn't it? You can't definitely get away with that on the Ephemeron.
Potentially, like, he could also be kind of like building up to this strong push. Like, we do see a Baneling Nest coming down. Again, with these double upgrades, like, it could be for a very strong timing as well.
And I suppose even if you are going to transition to Banelings, right, having that 1-1 was still beneficial early on.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, we could see a really strong Bane push. I am saying he's being a little bit greedy because last game, even though he won up against a 1-1-1, he did throw down a safety Roach Warren, and he did have roaches.
This queen is so out of position.
Oh god. Yeah.
I think there was a little bit of overkill there. Not sure what was going on with that laser, but Impact is taking some very risky maneuvers.
Oh no, the queen! Please.
Moving every single queen, but does not quite get it.
Yeah, he doesn't even get the Liberator. It gets away. Yeah. Oh, mate,
And
we got a drop. We got a drop.
We do
The
have a
drop.
drop coming down, but this time not from the Terran player, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Or
We've
rather,
got
drop will
4
be prepared.
banelings on the way as well.
Ooh.
Mate.
And keep in mind, DynaMite doesn't suspect this. He's been setting his Viking out, but I don't think he's quite seen this.
Yeah. For sure. And again, we do have that 1-1 finishing up for the Zerg players, so these will be upgraded. To be fair, when it comes to Bane connections, it doesn't matter too much, but regardless, it is there.
So long as the connection is made, the internet
Exactly.
the heartfelt connection. Oh, one-on-one connection. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Behind this, Impact is getting his 4th. He is macroing up, and he will have to be in position to defend against this drop. At the same time, I do believe the Overlord drop is sneaking in. It is making its way.
Slowly but surely, there is nothing here to really prevent this. But very quick reaction from DynaMite.
Yeah.
And a fast little stim to come down. Impact just retreating. Feeling a little bit dejected, even that Overlord has to.
At the same time, DynaMite's, his Viking a little bit on autopilot does get taken out, and the drop does get spotted as well. So nice awareness, map awareness, I should say, coming out from Impact. Kind of on top of everything so far.
Ooh, oh my god, he's finished, and there's no thing here. A very nice split. Impact being a little bit indecisive of where he wanted his Banelings to go and paying the iron price for it. He will lose his Overlord as well, but meanwhile, he's gonna chase this drop of DynaMite back. And he was able to continuously push. He was able to continuously push back drops in the long run. That can only benefit Impact.
For sure. We do have Impact now getting his 4th up and running, droning it up. He's getting 2-2 as well. It is quite ahead of DynaMite's 2-2. And he's getting Lean Bane Hydra. Pretty standard. Surprising.
What do you think about this? Andex could be dangerous for DynaMite because he's going into mines. He's getting the drilling claws, and he's going to go all in on mines. And I still think that mines are decent versus Hydroling Bane, but they're definitely not as good as tanks, are they?
Yeah, mines are decent. I would say they're better against Muta than against Hydras. And again, maybe that's why we're seeing this shift in Impact's army composition. But yeah, we'll see. I do think that
no pickup there.
Yeah, it does lose all of that. At the same time, though, he is pushing in, but Impact, he's going for a counterattack, and the wall is down.
There he is. The wall is down. And there's nothing here in the base. The Marines are now trying to catch up with the Widow Mines, and a bit of them are a little bit misrallied even.
Yeah,
so
at the same time,
a lot of lings to go in.
Yeah, we've got lings in them. Oh, he can pick off the upgrades.
Would pick up the upgrades. That would be devastating.
Yeah, he's gonna
get +2. That it is, and that's arguably the more important of the two.
Yeah.
Plus a lot of SCVs. Impact, meanwhile, is starting to just scoot forward, poke forward, and see if there's an opening for him, or if he can even make one.
Yeah. He, I believe, he's in position to deny that force from landing at least. And Impact, I don't know if it was worth it. In the end, DynaMite only lost 10 SCVs, but importantly, he did lose that upgrade. And that will delay him for quite a while. And that, it could work out really well for Impact moving forward, like being ahead in upgrades. Hey.
That, mate. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that can really be as big of a factor, because if you remember, mines, I believe, do ignore upgrades.
Yeah, it will
they themselves benefit from armor, but they do ignore opponent's armor, so...
Oh my god!
That's a lot of queens, DynaMite, get out! Ouch.
Oof.
And as this game goes on, just little things like that will just continue to stack the odds towards Impact's favor.
Yeah, yeah. I will
Gotta
say
say,
the one thing though is that DynaMite, he's already working on +3 armor. Impact, no, he's only just now starting it. Like imagine
accurate.
imagine if
getting this
DynaMite was working on
Getting this
3-3. Like
Absolutely, getting that +2 tonight might have been the kick in the chin that he needed.
For sure, for sure.
But everything is starting to go Impact's way. He's already getting his Vipers out, which arguably not as useful when against this army composition, but he's getting his Greater Spire. And I think it will really... I think Impact will really have to miss control in order for DynaMite to have enough momentum to start pushing back.
We'll see, because as you said, it will also come down to the mine hits. Mine hits can change everything. Oh, he's gonna catch the drop as well.
Shaking my head.
Yeah, just not going for DynaMite at the moment. Yeah, the Ultras then does finish up the Greater Spire as well, so we're looking to transition into Ultras and
Impact's almost maxed out. He is very happy to just bank up, essentially.
Yeah.
And he's over here, but there's just way too much.
And he's looking to get into the middle line.
DynaMite. It will get denied, and this will get cleaned up. Meanwhile, though, DynaMite is starting to push through with a small force here of just Marines and Medevacs.
Yeah, there's no factory units.
Yeah, its boost is off cooldown? No, it's on... Huh.
Yeah, it does end up losing 3 Medevacs there.
It's possible that he was just trying to transition, right? When you have that many Medevacs, you want supply elsewhere.
Well, we do have Liberators on the way, and that is what you need against Ultras at least. It will kind of depend where Impact goes, because he does have that Greater Spire, so he may transition into Corruptors.
It is accurate. This could be one of the last fights in this game. They're starting to show it up, or they're setting up for it, both players.
Yeah, but this will give the advantage to Impact, because now +3 armor will finish any moment now.
I think that the composition and the upgrades are in Impact's favor, but I would say that what DynaMite does have going for him is he's got a pretty good concave here. A nice little position.
Yeah, he has a very nice spread of tanks, I will say. So
Absolutely.
Blinding Clouds will be will deal minimal damage when it comes to how efficient they are against tanks.
That's 2 Niduses.
That is 2 Niduses. I like that.
Well, DynaMite is not letting his opponent bank up comfortably. He's gonna make sure that that Impact will starve out of minerals and be unable to mine anymore. This could be deadly.
Yeah.
Picks up a couple of Zerglings.
Yeah. Clears creep.
Not too bad.
It's quite nice.
Ooh, the mines actually get a lot of friendly fire.
Yeah. He's gonna get the...
have to back off. I think a second mine shot was there. And it get a couple of units, but I don't know, not that huge mine shot that you want. It's gonna go down now with the Groove Spines, man. That's a lot of range.
DynaMite's being spread apart right now, because we do have Impact's army moving in through the middle of the map, and there's nothing here. The tanks are exposed. The ghosts, they have to be careful as well. They do go down.
They do, and the ghosts are really only there for the Vipers. Other than that, they are just dead supply.
Well, you say that, but they would be so useful against the Ultras. 6 Ultras are on the way, but he's losing so many ghosts.
He is losing a lot of ghosts for this. Which is not what you want to happen to you if you are DynaMite. These are the most expensive units that DynaMite is making.
We'll also say that
even if Marauders are better versus Ultralists, you don't want to just lose your ghosts. They have a lot of utility.
Yeah, when it comes to their snipes or their EMPs, they can be really valuable against Ultras and eventually Broodlords.
But my engagement.
Yeah.
The mines do not get their full potential.
Impact's committing to this, actually.
Oh?
The snipes go down, though.
This, and it's not actually working out in his favor. Sites do go down, and that's 3, I believe, 3 Ultralisks, maybe 2 Ultralisks going down.
There just wasn't enough lings
Will
with
it
that
be
army.
enough though if you're DynaMite?
Yeah, Impact notices that though, and he's making 42 lings at once. So he will be able to supplement that, and he's getting infestors as well.
I think we're saying that Impact was starting to tear DynaMite apart from limb to limb or from multiple areas, but DynaMite himself is a little bit on top of this, trying to multi-prong as well. He's already saw the Nidus, so he's going to try to prevent that.
Ooh. Yeah,
I was going to say that first baneling, very nicely done, crashing into the, whatchamacallit, Marauder, but second baneling, that was the money shot.
For sure, for sure. And luckily, DynaMite, he did have units in his main.
I think that was a lot of... That was one infestor that got sniped. I got a little bit excited. But yeah, slowly but surely, if DynaMite is careful, this game is starting to swing back into his favor.
Yeah, yeah. Again, like, it's kind of fortunate that DynaMite has these units in position to deny these Niduses. I feel like if any of these Niduses went up, it could be, you know, devastating for DynaMite. But he's on top of his defense. I do believe part of it is because of those sensor towers.
Definitely.
Like he has so many. Look at the minimap. Like, oh my god, he sees everything.
It's not even a Venn diagram. It's like an Olympic circle.
Exactly.
And once again, he's continuing to get a small value out of his drops.
I think what's important is DynaMite has like survived long enough for +3 to finish, and now they're going to be equal on upgrades.
Yep. He's getting nukes as well, which is definitely what I like to see. He's gotten up to a very, very nice unit composition. And he's just continuing to starve out Impact.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say starve out, but like, you know, he's been able to keep Impact at bay and keep him busy.
It's a lot. How many ghosts does DynaMite have? 18.
Exactly. Yeah, but maybe too many ghosts. I would like a more even split of ghosts and liberators, to be honest.
Too many ghosts. But this could be it. Lord, right into the trap. A lot of these ghosts are still...
yeah,
a lot of these ghosts are still sniping. There is no detection.
He can't see it. He can't see the ghosts.
He cannot see the ghosts. And it is right there. Impact is being pushed back between these ghosts and these marauders.
Yeah.
To what end, though?
I feel like DynaMite should keep pushing.
Look at the nukes!
Oh my god!
Space and another nuke here.
Yeah, and again, like Impact, he can't see any of this. Oh my god, all the drones are gonna go down!
Oh, this nuke! 16 drones, 19 drones even. Woo!
Impact needs 4.
Impact does have a bank. Impact does have a bank though, so losing these drones is actually arguably beneficial to him. But losing these Ultralisk is not. Not to these snipes.
I just realized, what happened to all the infestors? Like he had like 3.
The infestors were sniped.
Hey, they're all
DynaMite
gone.
cut them out. DynaMite cut them out.
It's just Ultras right now.
And this is such a good position for DynaMite, but I think the DPS of the Ultras are starting to really push through.
Yeah,
but there are reinforcements waiting for DynaMite though. So many snipes go down, so many tank shots, so many mine shots.
Yeah, he's gonna
DynaMite is starting to clean this out. He does lose a single CC for that though.
Yeah, it was just a planetary. Like it's negligible. Like he can afford to lose that.
He built a planetary there, means he's not intending to really mine from it.
Yeah. Oh my god, is he gonna get in time? Jesus Christ.
No, he will not. Impact using Niduses how they were sort of intended to be used as ways to reinforce. Ouch. That ghost just ow, oof, owie, my bones.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried. DynaMite, he's continuing with this this ghost production. Oh my god. Okay, he does see it.
Well, I feel like he almost has to, right? He needs big damage, and when you're looking for big damage as Terran, it's ghosts. It's ghosts with nukes.
I do agree. I still think that a couple of Liberators would do well as well, especially against these Ultralisks.
Especially considering all these choke points, right?
Yeah, yeah, and he's committing, but
nice snipes do go down.
Yeah,
just fetch a cloak right in the nick of time.
And
oh man,
I feel like this is going to come down to, because right now Impact, he's kind of throwing away his corruptors. It's fine. Like, he's not looking to transition into Broodlord. It's going to be all about the infestors.
Yeah. I was just gonna say,
and-
he's making infestors too, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. Like, as you said before, previously the infestors, they got sniped, or like they could have even gotten EMP'd. I'm not too sure.
I think they were caught out
that's
on the map.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be about. Like, it's going to be
ghosts.
about like the fungals, like if he can get any or not.
Well, one thing is for sure, DynaMite does not have the EMP upgrade. So that is something that going for him, he might not... His EMPs won't be as effective versus these... Oh, that is every creep tumor.
Yeah,
I did not think it was going to get all of it, but it did.
Oh my god, but Impact, he's going for it.
Impact is going for it. A lot of those have gone down. And there is detection here, so Impact has nothing to worry about. I think DynaMite has just about lost this. Ultralists are pushing their way through. No amount of slits can really stop this.
That's like every single ghost. Like, he didn't even need to fungal.
Every single ghost.
He just chased it all down.
And he did. DynaMite is still keeping in this. He's trying to keep his planetary up and try to rebuild his army, but I just think it's way too late.
Yeah. And this kind of goes into it, right? Where, like, Impact, he had such a focus on this ground army. Like, if they were liberators, like, nothing here could shoot up. He has 2 corruptors. So DynaMite, he was kind of committing everything to this ground army, and now that he's lost it all,
absolutely. I don't see. I would love for him to come back from this, but I don't see it happening right now for DynaMite.
68 workers go down. 69, 70.
70.
Oh my god.
Ouch. Well, I mean, mules are pretty good, right? Ooh, this nuke though could be a saving grace.
It could be. We'll see.
He can't walk into that though.
Nuke your own army though, please.
Okay.
It's okay.
But I mean, even if it was, DynaMite is way low on economy. He has half the army supply.
Yeah.
He does not want to give this up because it was such a hard-fought game, but man, oh man.
I mean, yeah, let's not forget, like, he's on match point. Like, if DynaMite had won this game, like, he would have qualified. Like, that would have been it. And there it is.
It's called. Whew.
Impact ties it up.
What a game. Impact does manage to tie it up, which does mean that we're going into the ace match of this best of 5 series. What a showing from DynaMite. Like, my heart does go out to him a little bit as a Terran player when you're, in this late game scenario and you're trying to do a bunch of things, but then the point of no return happens, right? Where I suppose it happens in the other matchups as well, in like ZvP or PvT or whatever, where you're so even. You're playing to your opponent so evenly in terms of skill, and you're doing so many things that you're keeping both of you neck and neck, but then one lapse in concentration from yourself or one decisive push from your opponent, and you reach that point of no return where you just cannot come back from this.
For sure. But let's not forget that DynaMite, he played that out really well. Like, we saw him,
Absolutely.
Even though he lost his engineering bay, like, he was on top of the Niduses in his main bases. He got, like, really good nuke stuff, like killing a bunch of workers.
He got +3 armor before Impact got +3 armor.
Yeah. And he was able to survive long enough to get +3 attack, right? Like, that was a big thing that kept him in the game. But, yeah, here we go. It's the ace match. It's the beginning of the end right now for these 2 players. One will advance, the other say goodbye to his tournament life. It is the Zorg player representing Team LP. It is Impact.
And in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner map, I've been calling him the wild card for a while, but I think the wild shot, the explosion, there's got to be a term for that relating to explosives.
DynaMite.
Right? The DynaMite.
I said his name.
You said his name, yeah. I was gonna say the unstable ? The unstable TNT or something like that, right?
Yeah.
The lit fuse, maybe? The lit fuse? Well, definitely a fuse has been lit for this player. He is representing Triumphant Song Gaming, TSG, as well as the Republic of Korea. He was ahead in this series, and now he is on even footing, sideways 2-2. Can he qualify for the closed brackets? We have DynaMite.
Not gonna lie, I really like DynaMite as a name. It's good.
Yeah.
You
It's
can
one of those names where you think it would be a lot more common than it is, but it really isn't. Like, there are a lot of impacts, I gotta say. There are a lot of impacts, there are a lot of bunnies, a lot of wolves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then by wolves, I mean wolf. A lot of... I can't count how many heroes there are across multiple esports, Korean esports organizations, spanning multiple different titles, different games. But there are like 2 DynaMites in Korea. I say this as a fact. There are only 2 DynaMites in Korea.
There's only one DynaMite that matters here.
But there is only one DynaMite that matters. 'Tis accurate.
Exactly.
And that is the player on Triumphant Song, the player that we are watching right now. Really starting to make his breakthrough, maybe.
I mean, this would be kind of like a breakout performance for him if he's able to make it into the closed qualifier.
Absolutely. We've seen what it did for Zaun, and actually DynaMite is very much the Terran Zaun, if you think about it.
In a way.
A B-teamer on SKT, he was part of SKT's success, but not to the extent of the legends like Innovation or Su or Dark. But is now starting to really make a name for himself.
You could argue that coming into 2019, like when it comes to each race, we have Zaun, we have DynaMite, and probably Ragnarok as like kind of these players that are looking to like make this year their year, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely think that Ragnarok is a little bit ahead in that respect, but he is very much still... You still look at him and you still kind of think, oh yeah, he's kind of a rookie. He's kind of that B-teamer.
Like, as in... like, when you compare someone like Ragnarok to Impact, like, Impact, everyone kind of sees as that mid-tier. Yep. Ragnarok, I still feel like he's still trying to make his name there.
Well, especially when you consider the fact that Ragnarok did literally just make his breakthrough last year, I would consider. He did some really cool things in 2018, but, you know, 2019, making it to the playoffs of GSL consistently, showing himself as one of the new guard in terms of Korean Zerg.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And it's like, again, it's kind of sad to see that the Korean scene is kind of lacking that new blood, but at the same time, it is cool to see kind of the old guard, like these consistent players that have been here for years finally kind of shine through, you know?
It makes the new blood that we do get a whole lot more meaningful, I would say.
It does. Like what was it? I think it was during Ultima League, Farmy knocked out Bunny? And everyone was like, who the hell is Farmy? Like, who is this guy?
Yeah, and Farmy is not a Zaun. He's not a DynaMite.
Yeah, he's literally like a ladder hero. Like, but yeah, it's cool to see. It's cool to see, like, you know, these players.
Oh, that's a lot of bunkers going down. Remember when we were talking about SOS being very committed to his defense? Well, DynaMite himself is as well.
Exactly.
He did see the roaches moving up across the map. He did see huge Vesselings. He's going to try to use these Hellions to distract Impact by a little bit of time for his bunkers.
Yeah, but these queens should be fine to defend here.
Honestly, though, I think if this was a roach push from Impact, I think it's a little bit late. But the bunkers are killed. The bunkers are down, rather, I should say.
Yeah, the bunkers went down. There is one that's trying to get up, but... I don't know if it's going to be done in time.
It's a good amount of bio here for DynaMite, though. If there's a good enough surround.
For sure,
and Stim is complete. Yeah, but this is a lot of...
The Hellions are coming back as well.
And it does manage to flank the Roach Army very, very well.
Yeah. DynaMite may have enough, especially with this bunker, as long as he...
Be careful, though, not to sim.
Yeah, for sure. He doesn't have the medevacs to heal up these units.
Yeah, and DynaMite has sold this.
Yeah, and as a response, we have Impact droning up behind this. You know, he is attempting to transition. But he has to be careful, though. He may lose more workers.
and losing workers he does. Not quite fortunate enough to really get away with that. 10 drones. That is big oof.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like especially trying to transition out of like an all-in, which is what Impact. Oh my god, the rally of these overlords! Oh my god, get away!
Yeah, especially considering when you're a Zerg player who tried to all-in versus a Terran player who is equal to you on bases with his tech, with mules, leaves that overlord alive because you know what? It's tell the others what I did.
Oh my god, he had it rallied. He may lose another. Impact, please. He's supply blocked right now.
Yeah,
oh, but this drop though.
This drop could do quite a bit actually. DynaMite has pulled away his SCVs, but I mean it still takes a while for his army to reinforce this, to defend this.
Yeah. And like regardless, like this is what Impact needs. 6 workers go down. And can he save his lings? It's out.
He does actually save a couple, and more importantly, he saves the Overlord.
Yeah.
So he won't be supply blocked anytime soon. Impact is back in this on top of his economy, has that economic advantage.
Yeah, and look at this. Behind this Impact, he's getting a Nidus. Like he's looking to continue to apply this pressure. And with that Overlord like next to the main, he could Nidus right into the main as well.
It worries me about DynaMite's diligence, though, if we go back to the last game, how Impact was getting 2 Niduses at a time, and DynaMite was still on top of getting them all.
Yeah, that is
a lot of damage.
He was also on top of
not
his
gonna be up in time.
Yeah, his drop bailing defense as well. It didn't do as much damage as it could have, so we could see DynaMite react well to this Nidus.
And he's just doing a bunch of multi-prongs here.
Yeah.
I just get one Ravager and a couple of Lings. This is just... Alright, you want to kill my Lings? Well, how about I kill your SCVs? Oh, you don't want to kill my SCVs. I'm going to kill your Lings. This way I should get a Queen. I don't know who's at the event.
He doesn't have enough here. He can kill all these roaches.
He does not. Stim is very, very good, as is Hot Pickup, as is Medevac Boost. And that's a really good snipe. I gotta say, he doesn't really lose a lot there.
Exactly. It kind of is going to come down to this Nidus here. It's not plotted. He doesn't see it.
Oh, but Impact may have played his hand with the Lings, though.
Exactly. He's forcing units here into the main.
He is... I think this is a bluff Nidus, to be honest. Because nothing went in... Oh, no, there's actually quite a few. Meanwhile, most Ravager armies moving in. It's actually quite a number of roaches.
Yeah, and all the tanks are
this might be way too. This is way too much Zerg for DynaMite to deal with. I think this is the beginning of the end light. As
maybe. I mean,
as that is.
He does get the third, and oh my god, he's losing so many workers here in the main.
He has 19 SCVs, and he's completely given up his third base location.
Yeah,
and he's again, less than half of army supply.
Well, if you remember, his tanks were exposed to the third, so he only has one left. This is it. This is all he has.
Absolutely, Stim is not. Stim can't save him now, especially not when the roaches are knocking down that door.
Yeah, the tank goes down. There's one left. He's trying to save it with the medevac, but how much can one tank do?
Oh, lordy, lordy, lord. That was a very well thought out series by both players, but I do kind of feel for DynaMite a little bit. I think that was just GG. I think this could be definitely an instant of a player, after a long series at a long game, just having a potential strategy slip a player's mind.
For sure. I mean, it's important to note, we're in January. This is the beginning of 2019.
We're in January.
And, you know, DynaMite, he's looking really strong now. Like, what's he going to look like in a couple of months, you know? Like, this is only the beginning when it comes to these players and their year. And the beginning of kind of like this new kind of era in StarCraft where we have ESL kind of taking over and this new, like, league starting up, this pro tour even. So, like, it's an exciting time to be a StarCraft fan, as well as like an up-and-coming player, you know? Like, you have so much like potential ahead of you, you know?
Absolutely, and I refreshed the bracket in order to look to see if there's anybody updates on the bracket, but while doing so, I just realized the players that DynaMite beat to get to this point, he beat True, and he beat Cyan. That is, those are some pretty tough opponents, if you ask me. He's definitely got his career ahead of him, and I believe that was actually the final qualifying match and the final match of the evening. Yep, just gonna look through. Innovation qualifies, beating Dream. Astria qualifies, beating Super. Bunny qualifies, beating Sort of. SOS beating Risky. Armani beating Sound. As we see, Impact beating DynaMite. Dongringu beating Bomber. And Special beating Rail. So those will be your 8 players who will be going in tomorrow to the closed bracket. And definitely say keep an eye out for them. They are, man, I think that was a lot of hype tonight, a lot of very hype matches, but I think going into tomorrow, especially with how many players we've got, especially from the closed bracket, I think that will definitely be a sight to see. We will be covering that as well at, what's it called? At the same time, 7 p.m. KST on the same channel. So hopefully we will see you then. Light is having a couple of technical troubles, but would you like to come on for any closing statements, or should I just relay a message? Alrighty then. You can find... Oh, yep. Announcement to be made. We have very recently partnered over with Humble Bundle. So our affiliate link should be somewhere in the chat. I'm not sure if we have a command quite yet. I think we should, and if we don't, then we're working on it. But yeah, do check that out. We have 3 commands, as a matter of fact. So you can go check that out. One is for Humble Choice. If you have not subscribed to that yet, you can apply for that. One is for Humble Bundles, which from there you can choose how much money to give to charity, how much money to give to us, and how much money to give to devs and whatnot. And I believe when you buy from the Humble store as well, using our affiliate link, we do get a little bit of a commission, which definitely helps. Anything helps. But yeah. Thank you to Kuro, our production and observer. You can catch her over on twitch.tv/16squad and twitter.com at 16squads. Light, my lovely co-caster, you can catch him at light_VIP on Twitter and light_VIP on Twitch. And then myself, Empora Yakuzaku on Twitter and Yakuzaku1 on Twitch. We will see you tomorrow for the next chapter of this IEM qualifier.